So I have a theory. Keep in mind, this is my personal opinion, and this might be completely incorrect. But this is what I'm feeling why Trey Henderickson went on Pat McAfee's show yesterday and exposed the Bengals. And I think the big reason why is because he wants to be traded now. He understands by going on Pat McAfee's show, the idea of a contract extension is out the window. It's out the window now. The Bengals front office, they don't like to be exposed. They don't like to be exposed. They don't like to be pushed. They don't like, their situations with contract negotiations getting out there. And obviously, Katie Blackburn said what she said. And, she obviously pushed this whole thing into motion. But at the end of the day, the Bengals are very stubborn. Their front office is very stubborn. They're not going to, if you try to go against them, they're just going to try to make your life living hell. Now, in the past, they have been like, we're keeping our stance. We're not changing. We're very stubborn. They did change for Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. But even the T. Higgins situation, you got to keep in mind, they wanted to trade away T. Higgins. Everyone thinks that they just wanted T. Higgins. No, they wanted Jamar Chase. And Jamar Chase's agent, who is now T. Higgins' agent, literally said, if you want one, you have to get both. If you want if you want Jamar, you have to take T. And that's the only reason why T. Higgins is on this team right now. Is because the agent for Jamar, said if you want Jamar Chase, you have to sign T too. So the Bengals said, okay, fine, we'll sign both. If it wasn't for that, and let's say, for example, T still had the same agent he had before, T. Higgins would not be under contract right now. In no circumstance would he have a deal right now if it wasn't for his agent being Jamar Chase's agent. So I think we have to really remember that when we're thinking about how the Bengals have quote unquote changed, but really they have not. They are exactly the same stubborn front office as they were before. They're not going to ask for any less than they're asking for right now for Trey Henderickson. Right now, the Bengals are asking for a first-round pick and more. A first and a third, a first and a fifth. That's what they're asking for Trey Henderickson. And I think Trey thought, you know what? Maybe I could force their hand and try to get them to trade me now. And that's just not how it's going to work. All the Bengals are going to do, because of him going on Pat McAfee's show, any chance of a contract extension has gone out the window. You went on there, you embarrassed us, we're not going to work with you anymore. What we're going to do is you're going to play out the rest of your contract. And for Trey, because there are some people say, well, he'll sit out. What if he sits out? Here's the problem. If you sit out a whole season, the season doesn't count. And what happens is the next season becomes this season. So if you have 1 year left and you sit out this season, well, the following season, you have 1 year left. Because it doesn't just become null and void because you sat out. The season still happens. So Trey's in a very interesting situation. I think he put all his cards on the table yesterday, explaining the situation and, again, exposing the Bengals front office. And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm on the Bengals front office side. I am not. I'm really not. But I will say that I think there is a situation where the Bengals have all the leverage. They really do. And I think what we're seeing is Trey's trying his best to try to do anything possible to gain some leverage, but he's not going to be able to. Because at this moment in time, and he said it yesterday, I would have signed 3 years ago, 2 years ago. I would have signed this year because he wants a contract, but the Bengals have all the leverage and they're going to make sure they use it to get him at the correct price tag. But his antics yesterday, and I understand he was right for it because of what Katie Blackburn said. And Katie Blackburn was the one who instigated this. And it was her fault that he went on there because she said her statements. But here's the thing about the Bengals front office. They don't care whose fault it is. They don't care who instigated it. You went against them, you will now pay the price. I think, again, my personal opinion, nothing has changed in the department of Trey potentially getting traded. I think he will be on this team this upcoming season for his last year, and then he will be franchise tagged 3 times. And I think the Bengals are not going to trade him. And any chance of them trading him before has now gone out the window. Even if a team came up and offered what they want, I don't even know if they would trade him based on pure principle. That's the one thing I've learned about the Bengals over the last, set amount of time I've covered them now, is they have an ego and pure principle in the front office. And sometimes it could be their downfall because they will go based on ego and based on pure principle over going with logical things. Logic takes a back seat to principle in the Bengals organization. And I know that sounds ass backwards, and it is. It really is. Because that's not how you win. You can't win based on principle. You have to win based on adapting and realizing what is the best situation. You have to use logic. But you will see with a lot of things the Bengals do, logic is simply not in the cards. It's based on you pissed us off, you did A, and now the consequences will be B. And you don't like it, we don't care. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. And again, that's just my personal opinion here. I think this was Trey's last ditch effort. And I think after what he did yesterday, any leverage he would have had is gone. And I don't think his situation is going to change. So I know right now, every single article, every single news publication and person out there is coming out saying, oh guys, the Chargers should trade, the Commanders should trade, this team should trade for Trey, this team should trade for Trey. No, none of those teams are going to trade for Trey at all. And Trey's not going to sit out the year because Trey is 31 years old. And if he sits out the year and God forbid there is an injury and he gets hurt, the Bengals are not in a situation where they're going to play nicely. So there is no situation where Trey's winning this. Trey, at this point, I don't even know what my best input would be for him because you're stuck in your situation for the next 4 years. And that's just pretty much how it is. The only thing you could suggest with Trey at this point, his only option is, one, accept whatever they're offering, which they're going to lower their price tag after yesterday. And again, that's pure principle. They're going to lower their price tag and say, you went on there, you made us a laughing stock, and you made our front office look like a joke. So whatever we offered you before, it's less money now. Because we're not dealing with that. We're going to look like we came out here and stuck it to you that you don't do that to us. And I think number 2, if whatever he accepts, and if not, his only other option is sit there, play through these contracts, play through these franchise tags, get the guaranteed money, and walk away with, arguably speaking, almost $300 million in the end after the 4 years. Well, including all the money he's made already, is what I'm saying. So all the money he's made already, plus the franchise tags over the next 3 years. That's his best situation right now. Which, again, like I said, I truly believe he just tried to force a trade. And the Bengals, if they're going to trade you before, they're not trading you now. You're stuck, buddy. It is what it is. It is what it is, boys. Tell me down below your thoughts, opinions. See you guys next one. Peace out.